All right, I'm pretty excited. We've got this October Lull challenge. So the HuntWise team wanted me to take a property I've never hunted and utilize the app and try to build a plan and notch a tag in 4 days. This is all going to kick off here in about a week. So I've got a day to scout and then a day to hang cameras or hang stands. So here's step one is going to be, I've kind of looked at the map. I've determined some spots where I think are going to be good, but we're going to get in here and we're going to look at some sign and then we're going to make some choices. But the first thing that I did was I marked all of those boundaries, and we are currently right here up in this corner. So I want to make sure I know what property is the one I can hunt and what's the one I can't. We're going to get in here, we're going to start looking at some sign. We actually came to this corner and I'm already on a deer trail right here that's going down. So the plan is follow this deer trail, walk this edge. Let's see if we can find a place where we've got sign to get some cameras up, get some intel, and hopefully get some spots for a tree stand. And to be honest with you, with this trail right here coming out into this field, I mean, there's some great trees right there. A great tree right there is a great tree. So let's see what kind of sign we see in here. I'm on a major game trail right here, so here's the easiest thing. You go to the plus sign and you record a walking path, and once you record that walking path, walk that game trail. Walk it through, and if you see another one, take note, because after you walk this one, you want to walk the other one. If you find another one, walk the other one. If you end up having 3 paths, the key is where do all those paths intersect, because that is going to be the killer spot. So you can see this trail coming down right here. I mean, there's a fresh rub right there. So we can either mark this rub or we can continue on this path, and let's see if we can find some other ones, because we've got this hunt coming up in a few days, and this is the kind of intel we need to load into the HuntWise app. We've walked this game trail all the way through. There's several other trails that are taking off. We're going to walk those next. I just put a stealth cam up because this sign coming through here, we've already seen one rub, but this is a classic rub line. Check this out. Look at the size of this tree. I mean, a buck making a rub like that's a beautiful buck. We got another one right down here. That's what I'm talking about right there. These are the things you load into the app. We're going to keep walking this trail. This trail is literally going right down the border of the property that we can hunt. And we're going to get up in there. We'll see how this plays out. All right, we've done our recon. We've done our scouting. I've loaded my cameras and my potential tree stand spots into the app. And right here, this is exactly what I'm looking for. We've got 4 days to hunt. We're going to start out with 1 stand. We're going to play it smart. We're going to use everything this app has to offer. Let's see if we can get a big buck on the ground in Iowa during the October lull. All right, whitetail season has officially began, and just to give you an update, we were wanting to come up with a fun challenge. HuntWise was like, how do we show people how to use an app that have never used the app? Maybe they're on a brand new hunting piece of property. So this piece of property is 29 point something acres. Just got permission to be in here. So the first thing that I did was come in, marked my borders. 2 days ago, I was able to come in. They let me come in 2 days early for trail cameras. So I've got a trail camera right over here, and I already got a couple pictures of stuff doing exactly what I wanted. So last night came in and hung these stands. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. This is literally the first stand on the place. So I'm going to hit the arrow so that I can know exactly where we're at. Okay, boom, there's where we're at. And I'm going to add a marker, tree stand. I'm going to call this D30 Road Cross. Okay, I'm going to save this. Now the next thing it's going to do is it's going to ask me what winds we need. So we've got the main trails are all here. So if you're facing, you can look at these wind directions. That wind direction's great. This wind direction's great. That wind direction, maybe not. Let's throttle back on that. This one, also a little bit risky. So I actually think that one will be okay. So we're gonna save this ideal wind, and now this will go into your HuntCast so that you're able to know the predictability of these spots. All right, day 2, it has been an awesome morning. We had a much lighter winds today than what we did yesterday. Yesterday it was just vicious, the wind. But we're in here in our spot, this small acreage, and honestly, this spot that we picked is just perfect. This is a killing tree. We've seen probably, I would say, 30 does and maybe 4 bucks. The bucks have been a little bit smaller than what we'd hoped, but the movement and the action has been taking place. The app has been bang on. Literally, it's 10:45 right now. We just had about 7 deer and turkeys come through, and it's predicting 10 a.m. movement today. Yesterday, it showed that the moon was just setting and coming down on the horizon for prime moon movement about 4 o'clock to 5:30, and that is 100% what happened. Even though there was like 40-mile-an-hour winds yesterday, we had bucks showing up on cameras that were moving in broad daylight. In here, we had good movement through, but again, just nothing mature enough to shoot. But so far, honestly, this stand has been perfect. We've been using the HuntCast to show us the wind, and the wind has been kind of sucking right up here backwards where our trail to enter this stand came from. So it's been a perfect setup. Entering with the wind in our face, the wind has been pushing out that way. We've had deer moving through here, deer moving through here, deer moving behind us. It's been awesome. All right, we're gonna do a new play for tonight. We've spent a few days in stand number 1 doing our recon. We stayed safe, played it smart, and we saw the type of buck that we want to go after. The buck is all the way through the timber on the opposite side of this property, and he's working this small little field. There's a small field with some beans that I had put in. There's a bunch of grass growing through there. It was kind of a half-ass bean plot that I put in, but now what we're gonna do, pulled this blind into place because tonight I want to use the decoy. This buck was chasing off other little bucks. He was nosing around does, so it's obvious he is being protective of his area. This has to be the buck that put down those big rubs, that whole rub line, because it's in close proximity. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get in here, set up the decoy, wait till prime time, try to do a little rattling, a little calling, and see if we can get him to come in to challenge this buck. Get serious, get hoy, baby. October 22nd, put a buck decoy out. We got a picture of a giant in here. I waited till the sunset, rattled, grunted, looked 100 yards away, and that buck came on a rope. Came right in, I was ranging him. Got behind the decoy, started to get a little bit of sniff, but this was point blank, right to the chest, T2. He was gushing down for the count. Get serious, get hoy, baby. Over a decoy dog in October. Lull. I'm here with HuntWise, and this was freaking awesome. Let's go see this. He is a beast. What a beast. Man, what a plan. We were literally 150 yards that direction this morning, hunting, playing it safe, keeping the wind smart, letting does go by, letting smaller bucks go by. And then all of a sudden we got eyes on what we thought was a true giant. Seen him nosing around some other bucks, and I said, man, this is gonna sound crazy, but he was pretty wild this morning. So let's freaking get out a buck decoy with one horn, not intimidating. We waited until literally the last 30 minutes when it was nice and dark and I thought a big buck would be on his feet, hit my horns together, and he came in on a rope. And I ranged several times. I actually knew what the wind was doing and the way he was coming. I was hoping he was gonna hook under us so I could have a broadside shot, but he stopped at 25 yards, got a good range, and like I said in a video earlier, I keep my sight set on 25 for the top pin, the second pin's on 40. So when he stopped, 24.9 yards, and he was getting that thing's wind, that was gonna be the only chance. I sent one of these T2s right here, sent one of those right to the freaking heart, and every ounce of blood is pumped out of this giant. I am fired up. This is amazing. It's got a cheater there, there's a girl in there, but this is what you come to Iowa for right there. What a freaking toad. Holy smokes.